New England Patriots at the New York Jets. Right now, the Patriots, my screen is lighting up. It is 2.5s or 3s. So it's an expensive 2.5 or a cheap 3, depending on where you bet it. 40.5 is your total. Steven, you and I bet this one early. We both were on the Patriots. I bet it before we both bet it before we saw the Patriots' performance this past week. I don't really care that I did bet the Patriots even after that shellacking. Mac Jones off of the injury report completely for the Patriots this week. So we don't have any of this controversy that everyone's trying to, start up with Bailey Zappi. He's still a 4th-round rookie that nobody wanted, who's 6 foot tall and, everything like that. So, I mean, it's different playing in the NFL. Welcome to the NFL, Bailey Zappi. So it's going to be Mac Jones. Here's this Jets team. The most interesting thing for me is despite winning these games, right? They have 4 consecutive games in look, they're winning, so there's something to it, but with a pass rate below expectation, Zach Wilson hasn't thrown a touchdown pass in any of the last 3 games that he's played. On the season, Zach Wilson, when pressured, is still one of the worst quarterbacks in the entire NFL, which we kind of just gloss over because, again, they've been winning. He's 5 for 31 when pressured over the last 3 weeks. 2 interceptions. His passing grade's 31 out of 31 with quarterbacks with at least 40 dropbacks when pressured. I think we're kind of just getting wrapped up in the end result as opposed to how the sausage is actually made. And when you get in, you see all the ugly stuff of how the sausage is actually made for this Jets team. And I think this is where there's a little bit of a coming back down to earth here against the Patriots.
We've gotten a little bit bigger of a sample size with Zach Wilson after he didn't have a preseason and, got a couple games under his belt, and he's exactly what we thought he was last season. There's 32 teams in the NFL, and he does not rank top 32 among quarterbacks in the weeks he has played in EPA success rate or CPOE. That's how bad he's been.
Just came through, by the way, on the Twitter machine, Corey Davis out this week. So even not that they've been passing a lot, not that they're good at passing, but one less weapon as well out there.
Hey, Elijah Moore, you might get some targets. Stop complaining. On top of that, they lose Breece Hall, who looked like, I don't want to say Saquon Barkley levels, but he looked like a really emerging star in the running game here in the NFL. They lose another offensive lineman in Elijah Tucker, and Dwayne Brown is limited with a shoulder. He's a big part of their offensive line. So this is falling apart real quick on offense for the Jets. And to your point about the win streak, they beat Pittsburgh, who had a quarterback change middle of the game. They beat Miami, who had a quarterback change in the middle of the game to a third stringer. They beat Green Bay, who has a ton of offensive line issues, as we know, and maybe Aaron Rodgers has a thumb issue, not to mention brutal special teams that they continue to have in Green Bay that cost them points. And then they play Denver, who had a backup quarterback. So, what have they really – they haven't really done anything here. Now they play a real team with the Patriots, who I think their defense is still okay. They're number 7 in EPA. They are 2nd in PFF tackling grades. So I think they're going to be fine in this game. I think they've been unlucky on third downs. They're 28th in third down defense. So we know that's a stat that is ripe for positive regression. And they allowed 61% to Chicago last week. For perspective, Buffalo's number 1 in the league in third down offense at 53%. And I think Mac Jones, I don't think he's above average, but I think he's at least average. I think he has a slightly positive CPOE. The Jets defense is good, but New England is number 1 in pressure allowed. The offensive line protects, and I think Mac Jones is good enough to win this game. I bet the Patriots -1 earlier this week, and I would still be fine with it if you can get it at -2.5 or better.
Adam, if we take a look at this one, it is one of those games with a 2.5 point spread that you could take up to 8.5, and it is a 40.5 point total that we've talked about. Hey, in years past, this would just be an auto bet on the Jets from a teaser perspective. It is a super low total that you get 8.5 points. That is a bet that we make every day, all day. We don't even think twice about it. Of course, teasers have bit us in the ass so far this year, so maybe we're a little bit gun shy. But this is a play, especially considering the path of beating New England is to run the ball, and they trade for James Robinson. They've still got Michael Carter. So this game could be kind of slow as it is anyway. We know New England plays slow for sure, 27th in the league in situation neutral pace. So what do you think about the teaser leg?
Well, I think I already have it in my account, and it's not at the best number. I actually played this early. This was the other half of my Saints teaser from Sunday night. I played Jets 7.5, and that was before having seen New England crap the bed against the Chicago Bears. And it's based on this. We talk about Zach Wilson, and I don't know who it is that you're referring to who might have had a better evaluation of Zach Wilson, because I believe I shouted to the hills last week before the game that Zach Wilson sucks. And I'll shout it louder if anybody still needs to hear it. But here's the other side of it. You talk about Mac Jones, and I think that's where we're getting a little sideways on this handicap. Mac Jones, through the first half of the 2021 season, was PFF's 11th graded quarterback. Mac Jones, through the second half of last season, was PFF's 23rd graded quarterback. The bloom is off the Bailey Zappi rose, but I think the bloom is largely off the Mac Jones rose too. And it's not just about last week and him having a throw that might or might not have hit the Skycam wire that turned into an interception. It's about the fact that we didn't expect much out of Mac Jones in the first place, and I think he's settling into what those expectations were. New England is a team that you can definitely run the ball against. You cannot throw it against them. They have two of the best cornerbacks in the league, which we didn't expect coming into this year, but they're number 5 pass DVOA defense, number 28 rush defense DVOA. Yes, I'm worried about the fact that Elijah Vera Tucker is out, but at the same time, I look at the James Robinson acquisition and, like as you mentioned, Michael Carter still being there, and say, I think the Jets can still run the ball. So for the handicap for the teaser with the low total, again, we were talking about a team that is not going to throw the ball, right? New England is going to run the ball. And when I see a team that is going to slow the game down, and I've got the home dog getting out at more than a touchdown, then I think that's just a system kind of play.